does working during nursing school actually help you during nursing school, or does it hurt you? You might actually be surprised what I'm gonna say. Hey guys, this is Thomas from NurseMoneyTalk.com, and let's talk about working during nursing school. Now, I've already made a couple videos on this already about just kind of being a nursing student and working. One was when I addressed the question specifically and said, yes, you could work as a nurse. And I even kind of gave some examples of like the schedules that I ran or that you might consider running. I'll put that up here. And then in another video, I went through and listed out some of the jobs that I think, as a nursing student, you might want to consider. And so I'll also put that also up here, and then you'll also get it in the link below. But in this video, I want to specifically tackle just the question of, pretty much, is there a benefit to really working during nursing school? Or in another way, could it hurt you if you work during nursing school? The quick answer to this is that I actually think for some students, it might actually hurt you to work during nursing school. And here's why. I think without a doubt that there's a lot of benefits to working during nursing school. So obviously there's a monetary aspect of it if that's helping to kind of pay for nursing school. If you work in the healthcare field, so as a nurse tech or aide or something of that nature, then that could potentially get you some experience, right? Get you it's not obviously exactly like working like a nurse, but it gets you working with nurses and potentially getting some experience because you're seeing what they're doing. It can help with networking, right? So you potentially, in this situation, you're ideally working in the facility where you're gonna want to get a job afterwards. And so that can help give you, in a way, like they already have you, they've already done a little bit of training, they've already been able to kind of, if you've been there for like 6 months, you pretty much have been interviewing, if you will, for 6 months. And so they know a lot about you. And some facilities will have programs, nurse externships or student nurse programs or whatever, to hopefully then help them with recruiting and retaining of new grad nurses. Going back to what I said previously, that experience factor is really what I'm gonna get into. And that's the main reason why I think, to some extent, it might actually hurt some of you to actually work while you're in nursing school. And that is because you might get into a situation where you have a hard time distinguishing between what's going on in the workplace and the school/NCLEX world. Now, in a perfect environment, in a perfect world, if you will, what you're seeing in the workplace, at your jobs, what you're seeing nurses doing, would mirror the NCLEX world, which is going to be the latest and greatest evidence-based practice, if you will. But we don't live in the ideal world, and there are nurses who are going around, nurses who've been working for decades or even not really that long, who are practicing in manners that are not consistent with the best evidence-based practice. And so the risk is that you will then see that behavior that they're doing at your facility and then try to take that into the NCLEX world. And then that could potentially be very problematic. I remember a situation where I was in class and, it was one of the lectures, and one of the faculty members was talking about how to do whatever. I don't remember what it was that they were talking about, but I remember one of my classmates ended up saying, they raised his hand and whatnot. They ended up getting into a little bit of a back and forth. And and it all started off with my classmate pretty much saying something to the effect of, well, that's not how we do it at my facility, or the facility that I work at, to which a lot of us were. I remember looking at my classmate, you were just like, did they just do that? So it was a little bit of an awkward moment, but that story aside, you can kind of start seeing what I mean when I say that it can get really hard, especially if you've been working at that facility for, X number of years, and you're seeing that poor practice over and over and over again. It's going to be hard to distinguish between the two. I say all of this to not necessarily say that you should not work as a nursing student, or you should never consider it. No, that's not really what I'm trying to say, because that's why I led off with a lot of the pros for actually working. What I hope that you will hear from this is that while you're working in a healthcare environment as a nursing student, you need to be mindful of whether or not the practice that you're seeing is practice that would be acceptable in NCLEX world, or practice that would not be acceptable. So after watching this, if you are still considering, which I think you should, I worked during nursing school, going back, I would do the same thing. If you are still considering about working during nursing school, you can check out our job board by going to NurseMoneyTalk.com/jobs to check out what, facility, healthcare jobs or whatnot that are in the area that you're looking for. Even if it's not a healthcare job, you can see the full gamut of what's available in your area based on your criteria. So the next videos that you'll see over here to my left will be videos that will be centered around just kind of like this working during nursing school. And if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up, because it helps us in terms of, the YouTube algorithm, sharing this with others, so we can, help educate others and answer, this question that other nursing students might have. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you very soon in that next video.